Jeffrey! Jeffrey! Jeffrey. Would you come and take a look at this, Jeffrey? It seems to be a story about me. Yes, would you believe it? Come and take a look. Jeffrey, it seems to be a story about me. Ooh. Now this could get interesting. Without a cynical view, I wonder what the boy has to say. So he goes on to say, a story about Joseph Kingman. A true force brought forward by the basic human intelligence to survive, and the nature to question and oppose the ideologies of those who claim sanity. Let's read on, shall we? Joseph was a small boy growing up in a cottage farm on the outskirts of a small town, a town where only small things happen, predictable like clockwork. The small number of people that occupied this town remained in their routines and rarely think of anything outside of their town's experiences. Joseph's father is an antique rescue and restoration man. You know, he fixes the broken things. He finds the problems, glues the stuff all up and sells it on. Or sometimes he would give it back. Joseph was always explaining to his friends and family what his father done for a living. His mother liked baking pies, but never ate any of them, not one. Ew. You see, Joseph, I think this boy has a point. But I can't speak quite as violently. So, how do you turn it into something a little more nice? Do you do it with a smile on your face? I think this might be the secret, Joseph. You gotta smile. Oh, that puts a different tone on it, doesn't it, boy? Just a little bit of a different tone. Maybe this is the secret. But the pronunciation of every word must be correct. And sometimes the tone drops down into a foul, disgusted voice, even though you're smiling. Jeffrey, my friend, would you come and see this? It seems there has been a story written about me. Would you believe it? A story about me. You know I like it when people talk about me, Joseph. No? Jeffrey, that's right, Jeffrey. Fuck. So how would you present yourself in everyday setting if you were to talk like this with a smile on your face? Is it that you would greet people without disgrace? Hello? How you doing there? I present your child who has been unfortunately cared for and survived. And then you'd smile and say, at least they seem to have fun. Why, they were in the presence of yours truly. So would it be that you'd have to start talking loud and clearly to everyone, with a smile on your face like you're insane, your words twisted in rhyme. Do they know what you mean? To be called what I've been? A story about Joseph Kingman. A true force brought forward by the basic human intelligence to survive, the nature to question and oppose the ideologies of those who claim sanity. Joseph was a small boy growing up in a cottage, on a farm on the outskirts of the town. A small town where only small things happened, predictable like clockwork. The small number of people who occupy this town and stuck in their routines rarely think outside of anything other than the town's experience and the local dead sheep. Joseph's father is an antique rescue and restoration man. You know, he fixes things. He finds the problem, repairs it by gluing it up and stuff, and hands it back or sells it on. Joseph would always have to explain to his friends and family. His mother liked baking pies, it seems, but never ate any of them ever. I sure do love the smell of those pies, Princess. Joseph, starting to imitate his father. The pies were always perfect in all sorts of flavors. Some loved and others loathed. For instance, lamb's brains gravy was always a winner. However, pumpkin surprise was always frighteningly dreadful for its surprise. Collecting the currants for dessert was one of Joseph's favorite jobs. He would always eat as many as he could while he collected them. On arrival back to the house, his mother would always say with him, basket in hand and stained cherry lips, "Thank you, Count Dracula." She would giggle and humble to herself. "I am forever your humble servant," she would exclaim. Joseph didn't learn about Count Dracula until later on in life. When he did, he finally realized the joke his mother had always played in that instance. Always intending and always repeating every time he collected the currants for the pie. Joseph belts out laughter, the echoes punching the walls, as well as the long-lived punchline, he now realized. As a child, in the dark red-purple stained currant lips, he'd just been staining his lips and chin for days, looking like Count Dracula. Although Joseph did not have many animals... Although Joseph, it seems, did have many animals on the farm. There were cows and horses, sheep, chickens, and the lone fox every now and again. None of them were ever called pets. There were more animals than Joseph could care for alone. None of them ever cared for like loved pets. There were all kinds of stock work animals, breeding for eating, selling or grinding, so pets were almost foreign to Joseph. Joseph was reminded in a trail of thoughts, trying to explain a pet to his mother. You know, one of those things, a furry thing that you love and hug and you kiss. You know, all that. No, I ain't ever have one of those, Mum. It's called a pet, I guess. I think I would like one day, and I would call it Kelvin, and it would lay on my bed all night, a trail of thoughts expressed to his mother. By twist of fate, Kelvin would come one day. It does not matter of his origin story, nor does it matter of his fate. Such is long live Kelvin, buried by the pines. There weren't many other animals called pets in the years to come. Joseph simply did not want another one.